Beautiful. All right. I mean, I know you're not even paying for this, but I think you should be feeling a bit guilty right now.
Send us money. Send us money. Send us money. Send us money.
We were told earlier on we've been sponsored for £2 billion, didn't we?
4 billion.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm still negotiating my contract, even if it is.
Right, roundabouts. What have we got? Anyone had a guess yet?
Several guesses so far. I've picked 2 out purely, and you'll see why. Tammy from Netherfield suggests Monkston roundabout, mainly because she hasn't got a clue, but just wanted to hear her name mentioned on the radio. And Tammy from Bolbeck Park asks, is it Centurion roundabout, as she's sure that's the coolest name ever for a roundabout in Milton Keynes, and we should have picked it already. Well, I'm sorry, Tammy, you're both wrong, even though one of you has achieved your aim this week, and if there's no winners, you'll get the badges by default, and they are, aren't they, the best 2 words in the English language? Default.
I've also got one here from Scott McGregor, who says whatever roundabout it is, it's not an excuse for the performance on Monday night.
I can see a theme there.
Absolutely, there's a pattern emerging. He's a grumpy sod, isn't he?
I just want to know who Scott McGregor is, to be honest.
He's my cousin.
He's Albie's cousin.
Oh, with the long hair.
Not nepotism in any way, shape or form. Okay, what am I doing? It's this, isn't it? It's Franchise Watch. We like Franchise Watch, don't we?
Oh, we love it.
This is massive this week.
It's the franchise. It's the Franchise Watch. It's the Franchise Watch. It's the Franchise Watch.
I am not a fan of the Dons from MK, and the sooner they drop that title from their name, the better. No trophies and no history, so why use it? End that anomaly, and they might get a few more on side.
Clean sheet against free-scoring MK Dons? Never.
A fantastic point. This was possibly our trickiest remaining fixture, on paper anyway.
City will be happy with a draw, then MK will.
Overall, 2 good teams, although I think we looked slightly better. Pace up front, and I think would have secured the win, albeit glad their striker rotation meant it was Griggs' turn. Hard working, but in Flint's pocket, rather than Cole, whose pace could have caused more trouble. Very good point, I think.
Good point. Wonder what Keith Andrews has got to say about it.
How we got a point away at the best team in the league with the best players, I'll never know.
Do you think they're being a bit
tongue-in-cheek?
Possibly tongue-in-cheek on this,
yeah. Bit, yeah.
So a very non-tongue-in-cheek one. So that will be 4 points against the best team in the league, and only 1 point for them.
Okay, fair play, lads. Great result. We stopped them from scoring a single goal, which is great the way they've been putting them away. Franchise.
I was sat in the corner and Ayling went at it like Gordon Banks.
True.
Very true. Yeah.
Might have struck his chest.
False.
But I wouldn't have complained if he'd have given it.
Probably false.
What's that I hear? Apart from the 5,000 away fans, still top of the league, another game unbeaten, another clean sheet, and against the highest scorers in the league. Coyer, yeah.
Preferred the atmosphere at Coventry, to be honest. In the top tier, and all our groups of fans seemed a bit segmented, and also more tense.
As an aside, where we were, fans seemed to sit broadly where they wanted, and I only sat down at half-time. All good-natured and no trouble from stewards at all.
Well
good
done.
to hear.
What was the ladies' day all about? Played some girly music at half-time, wheeled the women's team out, and then you couldn't even see the girls singing. Cringeworthy. MK is a weird place.
I've seen Ali twice now. Yeah.
Sorry, go.
I've seen Ali twice now. Clearly he shows more elsewhere in other games to be worth 5 million, as I couldn't see an ounce of the reason why he'd be worth that.
The ref once again gave us at least one defo pen not given, and as for the dongs diving on site, it was just like watching the Premiership. At least 3 of their players should have been booked, and the first 20 minutes all they did was try to intimidate City with their strong arm stuff. Failed this time, which it didn't under Odris cause shambles.
I think the ref bottled it a bit today and steered clear of making any brave decisions. Should have booked Powell for a dive that belonged on the 10-metre board in the first half. That's the one. Rob Everton's was a nailed-on penalty, didn't he?
Yeah.
But although apparently he's biased sometimes.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. And wasn't on top of the wrestling that seemed to be taking place at most corners. As for the Ayling pen, it's one of those that some refs will give and some don't. The ones who give it are the ones who see it. With the ball moving so fast from close range, it's very hard to determine intentional movement towards the ball unless you reach out and save it. I added a bit to that last one.
I agree. They had a couple of chances that they kept going with incessantly and generally got behind their team. Have heard many more funeral home crowds, just that City were mobbed up.
Ooh.
Maybe one for later in Lexicon Chav.
Yeah.
And made a very big racket. Not many home crowds in League One would have been heard above that.
This one here, I think we've already mentioned. It was the most enjoyable 0-0 I've ever been to.
City fans were awesome. I'm not going to continue that. The singing was the best I've heard our lot sing away for 20 odd years. Granted, being in the rower seats on the corner next to the dongs. Singers were everywhere, and it must have sounded great on the radio. The dongs were heard only late in the second half, and even the MK Army and MK Till I Die were pathetic. The naughty boys at Green Street near us were pathetic. And as for the cowshed, well, WTF are they on?
I've never heard dongs before. That's a new one. I like that.
Yes, very good. Yeah, franchise. I'm liking that word as well.
Franchise. That could be applied to us.
Could work, couldn't it? If you think about it.
I think, okay. I think I've got an idea for a feature brewing. Just back, fantastic atmosphere from our lot. Their fans were so quiet, it was embarrassing. Happy with the draw as it was on the whole, a fair result.
MK is still a bleep town.
And it actually says that.
Yeah, it genuinely does. With plastic fans.
That may have been me editing, actually, I think. It's more fun that way.
Today was Ladies' Day, and with some old bleep organised to get punters in, which you would have thought wouldn't be hard top playing second place team. If one or other side had won, I suspect the winner would have gone up as champions or champions, as we like to say on this show.
If we could really pressurise them, their defence looked far more assured, and their strike force didn't look anything like a 5-goal machine.
City were... in the first half. I keep getting the expletives.
You do.
Funny.
City were...
I'm tense every time you do, to be fair.
In the first half, no running of the ball, formation was abysmal, no width, and passing was Downs football level. Only positive was that they defended with everything that they had. Second half was a lot better, but we just seemed to lack a bit of quality.
I'm just going to pick out a few bits from some of these. Nice stadium, shame about the town. I like that. That's good.
First time in a year and a half they've scored first in the league and lost a game.
Yeah.
Delhi who?
We played well. We also played the game that the pitch called for.
A massive 136 from MK, poor effort. I had 137 in the prediction league.
I saw that, actually.
And I've never actually been more gutted I didn't go.
It's his fault.
Yeah,
it is my fault.
He was supposed to go. Yeah.
Well,
there we are.
As I'll say later, sort of hand. MK Dons are a good footballing team that can play ball to feet and pass it around. They couldn't do it on our cattle field. Again, we played to our strengths and it worked on our pitch.
Who on their team have Spurs just paid $5 million for?
Okay, I think that's probably enough. There's tons of this stuff. Yeah. We'll talk about the question of the week now because we've got loads more of those as well. Question of the week. Yeah, you know what it sounds like. Got a few in here. I think, have I got all Scott McGregor's in it? I have. Let me dive. Oh, God, you can't see any of this, can you? We've got, some of these are great. David Carr. Just a reminder, the question of the week was, complete the following sentence. Bradford City's pitch is so bad, it's... And David Carr says, its worms are on job seekers' allowance. Paul Harris, occasional listener to the show, said it's even been turned down by the makers of Miracle Grow. Is he off to the loo again?
Yeah.
You are not drinking again. You can't cope, clearly.
He's finished the bottle, though.
Goodness sake. It proves the proverb that the grass isn't greener on the Bradford side. It's even worse than Wembley. Not even good enough for Sunday football. It's an allotment. The one thing that Winky can't describe as a can-do thing. It's a cunning plan. These are all Paul Harris. Sorry, I think people probably know that. As bad as the football pitches that used to be on the Denby site before the stadium was built. Not funny, but true. That's true. Flange-bustingly awful. We had flange-busting last week.
Flange-busting? What does that mean? Can someone...
That could be next week's question of the week. What is flange-busting?
I think it should be.
Paul, if you want to let us know, if you want to let us know, then let us know. That's how that works. Then we'll know. Impossible task. Even if Jesus himself came back, he'd stand there and say, even I can't work that kind of miracle. Welcome to the valley with hardly any grass. Forget about your football studs. You'll end up on your... It's being going to be used as a set for a supermarket Christmas advert. I can't like that. Let me get past some of these. Franco Volpe said, seeing as nobody else has replied again this week, I'll bail you out. Upkeep is maintained under a payment order through the EU agricultural policy. Now get off my land. Paris Raider says, Bradford City's pitch is so bad, it's got a scarecrow. And then he said, Bradford City's pitch is so bad, it's got a style.
And Andrew says, Bradford City's pitch is so bad that he needs to several times go to the toilet.
He does. Bradford City's pitch is so bad, it's got a hedge. Sponsored by Mud Pies, not the pucker ones, and Wurzel Gummidge is the groundskeeper. So look, I have no idea why we get people responding quite as much as we do. I have no idea why I haven't got a promo queued up, so I'm going to talk until I have. And when I've got one, I'm going to press the button. I'm pressing the button, it's not happening. That was so slick for a second.
Hello, I'm Jim Cleland, and every Tuesday between 9am and 12pm on Secklow Sounds Radio, you can hear all things MK. We have local news, sport, weather, traffic and travel, and lots of music. I'll be talking to local people about fitness, health, what's going on in Milton Keynes, our diverse community, local businesses, and much more. Join me, Jim Cleland, for all things MK every Tuesday between 9am and 12pm on Secklow Sounds Radio.
You're listening to the MooCamp Radio Show on Secklow Sounds. And Secklow Sounds exists to bring people and communities together. We produce a variety of music and speech programmes. I've often wondered if I could do that off the top of my head, and I can't. I was thinking I could, and it's just true. We produce a variety of music and speech programmes produced by local people, and we're run by over 60 volunteers. There's always room for more, so if you have a programme idea or a skill that you want to offer, send an email to volunteers@secklowsounds.org. You can find out more about this show, the station, and other shows that we present by visiting www.secklowsounds.org. What's coming up next, Mr. Twilley?
What is coming up next? That is
you weren't concentrating, were you? You were. Sorry, I shouldn't have gone to you then.
I was just doing some serious news in the football world, but let's talk about something next. In the next bit of the show, when we start to realise that maybe, just maybe, with more script than we have time left for, we begin to rush through things to bring you the burning question. Is it Lisa? Or is it Carolyn? Carolyn, exactly. We find out just who or what really loves Winky, and we'll have another fantastic joke of the week just for your enjoyment. We may even talk about Mudgate or Bradford away too.
We may even have shuffled the script around as well, so that didn't work.
Did I do that? Okay, so anyway, Darren, you need your own theme music. We decided I'm going to have something that plays when you walk in each time. We're not sure what it is right now.
This just in. Chief of Rule Changes at the Football Association, Will Make It Up, has come across a new directive which would ensure MK Dons are always to remain within the third division of the footballing pyramid. Speaking exclusively to nobody in particular, Will stated that every time the Dons look like winning, the officials are to employ the look the other way rule. This way, a brief passing apology to the MK manager following the completion of the game would suffice in absolving them from any blame whatsoever. More on this when we eventually get a decision that goes our way.
William from Galley Hill has tweeted in to say that he's 78. Ronnie from Stantonbury says, that's it, we've blown it, playoffs it is then. Alice from Kingston has texted in to say franchise. Raylene from somewhere that she hasn't said, so we'll pretend that she comes from Montevideo. Raylene from, that one says Lisa. Jackie from Westcroft says, not looking forward to the run-in. It feels like we've already lost a bit of momentum at the moment. And Simon from London has emailed us a picture of him working on his allotment, which is nice.
That's very nice. I think our relationship with Simon's really growing. I'm kind of pleased by that. Okay, actually, I've just faded that out. I've got loads more here. Let me just chuck a few more of these out. There's loads of tweets and I'm behind with it, so these probably made real sense when you sent them rather than just seeming like random postings. Twilley makes saves like that, says Pete Fairweather.
Thanks, mate.
We try our best. Dano MK says, we try our best right side of the cowshed to back up the middle, but quite often there's only about a dozen of us, which is annoying. What do you think of the 2K2 COV campaign? Definitely split opinion from what I've seen. And he wants to know if he can vote for both. I presume that's Lisa and Carolyn. That's Lisa. Carolyn. Okay, yeah. We might talk about it. Let's see where we go with it. Twilley has texted Lisa.
got to back Lisa.
My word, okay.
The Lexicon of Chav.
Hello, Darren, you cheeky boy. Welcome to the Lexicon of Chav, where each week we educate you, yes you, the educated elite, into the ways of the feral underclass that seemingly run our planet by providing detailed translations of common street talk. This week, the word under scrutiny is